Welcome to the Airpreneur Facebook group. We are live here every Thursday at 6 p.m. And I've got a wonderful group of guests here tonight. This is the beloved Tyara and Chyheem. They are students of the Airpreneur mentorship, but more importantly, they've achieved some pretty wild success pretty quickly. And we've brought them on tonight to share their experience so they can inspire everyone about what's possible and how they can do the same. This is one of my favorite things about you two is quite literally like 6 to 8 weeks ago, I remember you inside this exact Facebook group watching our live sessions, like commenting on stuff, and you were like, all right, I think I want to do this. I think I need help. I don't know what the heck to start, all that other stuff. So it was literally like you guys can scroll back to the live streams in, I think it was January when you were commenting on stuff, and you can see them inside the group. And ultimately, they decided to make a change, and boy, are they doing it. So, Tiara, Chyheem, nice to see you guys. Thank you for coming on here.
Thank you
Hey,
for having
how
us.
y'all doing?
Hi.
100%, 100%. So before we dive into where you're at now with this arbitrage business, right? I want to ask you a little bit about how this began. So ultimately, right, there's a bunch of business models out there, real estate, whatever, this and that. What made you two decide on Airbnb arbitrage versus other stuff out there?
Well, Vince, good question. Well, there's so many different ways that you can do it, but reason why we did this route was because it was kind of like less capital. When we think about Airbnb, we only thought that Airbnb can be obtained through buying real estate and having it under your belt. And we were like, okay, well, we don't want to buy all these different properties and, especially with our VA loans and having to pay, these big deposits. It just wasn't like a ideal mindset for us. But when we found about people renting it, we were like, aren't there stipulations in contracts saying that you can't sublease? And then when we found out that like, no, you can negotiate with the actual landlord. They just want their money. We were like, we can make this happen. We can make this happen. Let's try this. Let's just try it. Let's see if this is really real. And let's find somebody that can help us. Because I'm like, we don't know which way to even go. Like,
I got you. And what like concerns and fears did you have with Airbnb before you dove in? Because I know what it's like. I know like when you first hear about it, you're like, wow, this sounds really cool. But there's a lot of question marks I have, a lot of things I'm not sure about. So what were you like fearful of with Airbnb arbitrage?
It was like a few things for us. I would say just making that capital, not putting us in the hole more than what we already would be, because we're putting in the furniture, paying the rent, paying the utilities and everything. So I think that was one of my big fears, not having enough cash flow coming in so that we could pay off the things and diving deeper into debt.
yeah, we were like, what if we pick a property that put us upside down? What if we don't do, good enough? Or what if we just pick a market that has happened and just be like, nah, we're just gonna break you even every month. Like you could pay your rent utilities and we see nothing. Like that
Yeah.
was our worst case scenario. We were like, we need that would not be what something we want. So we were that was one of our things we were nervous about. Sorry, our son.
We knew it was
Um
gonna happen. We knew
I
he
knew
was
it was gonna happen.
gonna. So
That was
I
pretty
get
much
it.
one of our biggest things. We were just like, man, like, what if we make this decision and we don't find something that's good enough for us? Or what if we make this decision and now we can't make enough even for the rent and we gonna have to pull out of the pocket? We were like, how can we do it? And thank
I
goodness
get
we had the proper tools for that.
Yeah, I get it. That's one of the probably the thing that everybody's most fearful of with their first deals is like, okay, I see how this could work, but like I'm so terrified that like if I end up taking a property, it's not going to make enough to cover rent, utilities, expenses and stuff, right? Now,
Right.
before we dive into a little bit more about that, because I do want to talk about how you've ultimately felt confident and how much money you are making with the properties. But what was the main goal with this for you? Like, like you saw interest in Airbnb. You saw it could work. You saw you could make money, but so what? What was the real goal for you too? Because you're active duty military, which thank you for your service. And on top of that, you have three kids, right? So you have every excuse in the world to be like, I can't do this. I don't have time to do it, yada yada. So like, what was the end goal with this for you?
End goal was to be financially free, be able to get out the military and enjoy our lives traveling with the kids and let them see more than just a military installation and to just be able to enjoy our family, our family of five, and just kind of just do us, not really worry about if we wake up this morning, can we go to Starbucks and have our coffee without running, being like, man, we have to be at work. We gotta go. We can't even
Yeah.
stop for a macchiato today. So we we really wanted that just to be free. And I think everybody really wants to just be free and not have to clock in and clock out in that boring day-to-day life.
Mhm.
You gotta be there somewhere at 7:30, done at 4:30 or 5. We were just kind of like, when are you gonna ready to take that next step? We're gonna be 30. Well, not me, but he was gonna be 30. But
Hey, there's
we were
nothing
like, when
wrong
are
with
we
being 30, okay? I don't.
seem like it hurts. Seem like it hurts. When are you gonna like jump into that next step of wanting to move forward with your life? And we just wanted to see how everybody that is doing that in Tulum, Mexico, and running businesses. How is that? Just wanted to get that feeling too.
Most
You know?
definitely. Like being in the military, like I love it. She loves it. But at the end of the day, it's like that time with the kids. Like we're a growing family, and it's just those precious moments that we miss, just for us being at work all the time and traveling through traffic and stuff like that, having to be in places. So that is more like a benefit for us of being financial free, that we don't have to worry about everything.
Mm.
Yeah.
I always say
That's
like
powerful, guys.
yeah, when we set up Houston, we had took a little bit of leave, and like being able to like just relax with them and spend time with them was amazing. Like it was worth it coming.
He's popping in again. He's like, "Hey guys, I hear you talking about me, so I want to be part of it."
Yeah, he wants to pop in and be like, hello.
I
But
mean, he can pop in if he wants. That's okay with me. So, okay. So,
he's,
um,
he's a wild child. He's a wild
so
child.
here's my question for you. Before we dive into the nitty-gritty of the deal, right? What you guys just said is so powerful because I think most like 90% of people want that. They want the ability to
Yeah.
just control their schedule. It's not even like people are coming in here and they're like, I want to be a multimillionaire and I just want like 800,000 a month and all this stuff. It's just like, hey, dude, I just want my time back, you know? And
Yeah.
I think you resonate a lot with people. Now, before we dive into the specifics of like the deals you got and all of that, like, did you see that Airbnb was a valid path to that? Like, did you see other people doing it successfully that they actually were able to get their time back? Like, did you see people, even in just like our community, for example, like the airpreneur community of people that just like are living that kind of dream? Like, did you see there was a proof of concept of what you were doing, you know?
Yeah, 100%. I'm always in the Telegram app, on our group chat. I'm just super quiet, but I'm always like watching and like taking notes. And Nina was a really big inspiration for me. I actually hit her up on the side and was just like, I need you to speak some life into me because I'm getting discouraged. I can't find a property.
Oh
And
man.
she was definitely there for me. And watching her, obviously, you can scroll back and just kind of watch her grow and just grow and grow. And she does not stop. That was like motivating right there. I'm like, okay, so this is possible. And then watching Sonny and Greg, look, going back in their time, I'll be going all the way back. Like I even went back on your stuff. I was going all the way back. I'm like,
Oh
so
man.
watching people grow, I'm just like, okay, this is possible. This is not a scam. This is not something that, this is like something we can do. We can do this. We
Hmm.
can really do this. So I think that that's what a lot of people are scared of because even like my friends that want to get into something like this, they're like, I'm like, no. Like, here's a screenshot. Here's the numbers. Like, yeah, see, I'm at work and myself, I actually got a second cell phone just to get better signal in my office so I can still, respond if I need to guests. But I'm like, this is possible. Like, you can make $1,000, $2,000 just by sitting somewhere because a
Yeah.
guest decide they want to go for 7 nights
Yeah. I mean,
and,
you're
and
not
willing to
kidding.
pay it.
You're not kidding. I listen, so for those listening who don't know who she's referring to, also like Sonny and Greg, they were some of the first students in this community. In 6 months, they got 11 properties, quit their jobs, moved to Portugal, and they literally just run this business remotely. They still grow their portfolio from Portugal, and they teach full time. They're actually part of the team here now. So, and then Nina, she joined us, maybe a year and a half ago, but like ever since she's been here, she recently crossed like 80, $90,000 a month in revenue. It's insane. Like she's just constantly growing her portfolio because she has all these good relationships that she built. So the thing is, I wanted to, the reason I asked you that question is because it's one thing to decide to jump into starting like some sort of business or like side hustle or income stream, but there's another thing if you don't actually see that there's a proven path that you can get what you want out of it. And I just wanted to make sure that you saw that. So tell us about this first deal though that you got because literally only 3 weeks in. I mean, some of the fastest, you guys are some of the fastest people in the community by far. Literally 3 weeks in, you landed a property that turned out to be pretty killer, from what I understand. So, could you tell us a little bit about that deal, like how you found it, and how did the training prepare you for that, and then also like how much it's projected to make or even makes now?
Yeah. First thing, I didn't sleep. I'm just kidding. I didn't go to sleep. Because we were just searching for the deal and obviously using the tools that you guys gave us, we just dove head in. We stayed up. We were, after the kids went to sleep, we were like 3 hours a night. We got time to be on TikTok, we got time to watch these videos. We would, play it to the TV from the phone and have it up on the TV, and I'll be on my iPad taking notes, and
Oh, so
he's
you
better
are
at remembering
so
things at
sick
the
of
top
my
of his
voice.
head.
You are
Hmm?
so sick of my voice then. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would go to sleep, and I'm like, "What did Vince say?" I'm like, "What did he say last? What did he say last?" I'm like, "We have to rewind it. I fell asleep." So, Adam's voice is very distinct. I'm like, I know that's Adam's voice.
Oh yeah.
Um, so we with that training, we were able to go in and we searched high and low, and I mean, you guys definitely beat us to the ground with no's, and I felt like I was like, man, we're never gonna find a property, but it was like fail proof. You guys were never gonna like set us up to get into a property. At first, I was like,
Yeah.
how smart no to this property, and so when we found that property. And I was like, hey, it can go either two ways. We were able to negotiate this, but it's fully furnished.
Mhm.
And, she was able to come down on rent. And hey, she was able to give us 2 weeks concession. And Greg was like, hey, that's a good deal. I was like, whew.
A
All
good
right,
deal.
wait.
So, if you're listening, what she's referring to is what we do when people are in our community. We basically have them send us all of their deals before they take them, and that prevents that whole thing that we talked about earlier, which is like, I don't want to take a bad deal. We look through everything and we say, hey, Tiara, Chyheem, I wouldn't take this because of XYZ, boom, boom, boom. It's not projected to make enough money, all that other stuff. So ultimately, I think we said no to like 2 or 3 deals before you took this one, which is even crazier if you think about it, which means only 2 weeks in, you guys were spitting out deals to us. And I would say the average person probably doesn't start sending us stuff until like 4 or 5 weeks in. You're sending us stuff 2 weeks in. And we ultimately, I think it was your third property where we said, this looks good. This ultimately looks pretty good. So, how did it turn out? Like, what is the projected cash flow on it? What have you seen cash flow from it so far?
The previous month, because we did start in February, half the second ladder of February to March, we seen a significant jump. That's because it was rodeo season. And it was 1.5K. And then from March on, it was just crazy. I mean, it was 3.1, 3.2, and
In
it was
cash
just going cash flow because rent was paid. Rent was paid already. The rent was
flow? Oh
paid.
my
We haven't even got utilities for the full month yet. So
Oh
we
my
were we were like, wait. Let's make sure utilities aren't going to eat us alive, which
Yeah.
utilities did not. Utilities averaged for all of our utilities $200,
hmm So
and rent was and the Wi-Fi was included in our rent.
that's insane.
So
$1,500 per month cash flow first month, over 3 grand in cash flow month two. That's like, listen, that's above average. I like to set everyone the right expectation that like 1 to 2K
yeah.
per month is the sweet spot. Now, here's my last question about this. So first off, that's incredible, right? You really only need 3, 4 of these properties to like see a significant difference in your life, right? So, the my question for you about this though is like, how did you feel confident in the numbers? Like, what did that look like? You don't have to get into like the nerdy detail, but like,
Yeah.
what was the process like? Was it, we looked at the revenue of the properties, like it, we assessed it, we calculated it, we predicted exactly how much you would make. Like, could you just talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So when we looked at the property, we were like, this compared to the area that it was in, we're like, it could make potentially this. And that's without putting nothing in it. And we were like, if we don't put nothing in it and we just go in straight like that, because obviously we were like, we don't want to put too much capital in this, maybe just buy some dishes and get some updated photos. We were like, we could make this. And he was a stickler. He was like, no, don't even send that to them. This is not going to work. And I was like, stop being so negative. I was like, this is going to work. I'm like, let me do my will and deal with the lady and let's talk to her. If she's going to come down on rent, then the numbers could be better because we knew the threshold where we did not want to be lower than. And we were like, obviously, we can't be lower than that number. And once she came back and she was just like, rent was, she was willing to, meet us in that lowering point. We're like, cool. And actually our numbers were set high for utilities and for
Clean.
cleaning. That was a big thing. Everything was high. So when we came back and it was like the full puzzle was together, we were like, well, we had our utilities at $700 a month.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. You
we
guys were crazy
we
overprotected.
had we had cleaning at $200, but actually we profited off of our cleaning.
Yeah.
We
So, yeah,
so
that's what you guys did though is you assessed everything and every variable. So like ultimately by the time you finished that calculation and you looked at the amount of revenue that you project on the property and then you actually break down the monthly cash flow, did you feel a lot more confident like, okay, I know I'm going to be able to make rent. I know it's going to make at least the minimum amount of cash flow I want. Like now I don't feel as scared about that, right?
Yes.
I
Yeah.
think he was still pretty nervous. He was just like
Oh, well,
until we started getting bookings and getting the notifications on our cell phones saying that, Airbnb booking. We were like, he come home, he's like, it's doing numbers today. Like,
So, so what's even crazier is you guys do this literally not even 3 weeks later, you get another arbitrage deal in Puerto Rico, which is insane. So you guys are literally just on a tear, right? And I know, I think we talked about this. That unit's projected you what about 2K per month in cash flow, right? Off your
yes.
that's wild. So we're looking at a total of like, let's be conservative, like 4K per month cash flow, 3K per month cash flow amongst these two properties for you that literally just 60 days ago you didn't have, right? How does this income impact your life right now?
Honestly, we take all of our extra income and we keep it in the business bank account and we look for the next deal. And because, like I said, we were talking about the capital, we made it very clear that any profit that we see for the first 7 to 12 months, we were going to put it all back into the business. That was our goal, back into our business, because, like you said, doing everything on the front side so we can relax on the back end. Because he made it clear, I was like, hey, can we get an assistant? Because I'm kind of doing all the administrative work. And he's like, no, no assistant just
We'll
yet.
get
We're
to it.
not there. And I was like, fine. So we're like, first 12 months is going to be, it's going to be a little painful because, yes, a lot of people want to see that first cash flow. Like when we seen the extra money after we paid the bills, I was like, Tulum, Mexico. That sounds good right now. And he's like, no, next property. We're on to the
Don't
next
do it.
property.
Don't do it. Yeah, yeah. You listen, you're making the right. That's literally exactly what Adam and I did for the first like 8 to 12 months of our arbitrage business. You saw how quickly we scaled. We got 10, 19 properties, whatever that first year, but we literally just took everything and funneled it into an account and just put that into more deals. So honestly, compounding is the way to go. You guys will grow at an exponential rate if you just keep on doing what you're doing. So look, you guys have been such an example to this community. And now two properties less than 60 days, you're making 4 to 5K per month in cash flow, which is like absurd. At this point, like I just my final question for you is like, why did you guys choose Airpreneur to start your arbitrage business? And like, I guess, what are your thoughts on the experience?
Well, you guys popped up on my timeline on Instagram. I think it hurt me, but your advertisement's on point. But then it wasn't just the advertising. Like when I clicked it and kind of like put my phone down, it was the follow up. And it was just no, I knew I wasn't talking to like a robot response. It was like a genuine and it's very rare I can get him to go on board, to jump on something with me like this. He's very conservative. He's like, but I was like, no, listen, listen, listen. Let's watch a few videos. I'm telling you, like I got a strong gut mom. I got a mom feeling about this. Like I think it was Adam actually I was talking to, and I was like,
Yeah. Mhm.
it's very, very much strong feeling. And Adam's a hard person to say, I'm like, is he gonna be but he's a really like he won me over. So if and it's very hard to win me over. Obviously we're Marines, so we're pretty hard on people. So he won us over and that's what made us dive into it more. And ever since then, the family has been nothing but like family. It's the communication for one, and people's constant feedback, things that you didn't even think about, like people that have used Booking and was tell us about, hey, when you're doing Booking.com, it's Wild Wild West out there. Be cautious. So we were like, when first we realized what was going on, we pulled back. We were like, we gotta get some insurance on this. So we were able to use some of those notes in the, the group chat, everyone talking. So it felt like a family, like no one was willing to gatekeep. I say gatekeep because people be like, I don't want to tell you. It was none of that. So I felt like it was a great family. And he like, did you come back and read? And sometimes we'd be in the car listening to the masterminds and we'd be like, okay, noted, noted, noted.
I know I appreciate that, you guys. I mean, it is very it's very family oriented here. I know the team spent a lot of time with you too. Like, Greg met with you guys privately to help you figure out which market made sense. Adnan helped prepare you on how to have the conversation with the landlord. And that's really the journey we take everyone through is just like we handhold them through developing each one of those skill sets so that way they could just repeat this, repeat this, repeat this as many times as they want. So cool. I guess my final question for you is if somebody out there is listening or watching this and they're like, hey, I want to dive into the world of Airbnb arbitrage. I'm considering, a mentor. I'm considering airpreneur. Like, what would your advice be?
because the knowledge you're not gonna get it anywhere else. Like, of course, there's other coaching programs, but y'all are there like 24/7. Anytime we had
Mhm.
questions about anything, y'all were there. It wasn't like, hey, once you get your first deal, hey, you're done. We're just
Yeah, it
gonna leave
wasn't
you
that.
alone, stuff like that. So just constantly having y'all there to answer any questions that we have, and then also the other group, it's like a win-win. I'm like she said, I'm really like tough to win over, and y'all did it. Y'all did it, and I'm glad we took that leap of faith, especially with y'all.
Yeah, because we had other coaches and those that has been messaging us and
Oh, I'm
trying
sure.
to talk to us. And when we go back and watch the YouTube videos, he's like, they don't know their numbers. They don't have knowledge. We're not,
I
no,
know. It's
no.
like it's now that you're on the inside, it's easy to tell what's realistic and what's not.
Yeah.
But we'll leave it at that. I'm not gonna
Hmm.
badmouth anybody. So, guys, listen, first off, thank you so much for telling your story. I know that this is genuinely gonna inspire people because they just people are always looking for ways to like see validation that like something's possible, and you guys are literally a walking testament to that. If you are listening or watching this and you are in our Facebook group and you feel like you are in the position that they were in just 60 days ago, and you're like, all right, I really want to dive into Airbnb. I see proof of concept. I just want help. Just go ahead and drop the comment. I'm going to put Tiara. You drop the comment, Tiara. What's going to happen next is we'll send you a direct message here on Facebook. It's probably going to come from me directly. And we'll chat about what your goals and ambitions are. And if it makes sense, we'll propose hopping on a call to walk you through what it would look like for us to help you, right? If it's not a fit, no worries, not a big deal. But otherwise, if you're watching us on YouTube or you're hearing us on Spotify, and you are interested in taking that step and jumping on that free call with us, you can just head to airpreneur.com. There's a ton of links all over the place that say like apply now or something like that, and you can jump on a call. But otherwise, Tiara, Chyheem, thank you so much. Any final words or pieces of advice for people checking us out?
Just jump for it because we're about to actually get ready to pack for our flight tomorrow to Puerto Rico to go check the property.
Hey,
Just jump for it. Just go for it.
that's
Just go
awesome.
for it.
That's awesome. Well, enjoy the travel time with the family. And otherwise, guys, if you're watching us here on Facebook, we'll see you next Thursday here at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Everyone have a great night.